The sound of a car horn blared behind him as Jake hurried down the busy street, his heart racing with anxiety. His wristwatch showed 10:55 a.m. The interview he had been preparing for weeks was in just 5 minutes, but as he glanced down at his daughter, Sophie, limping beside him, he knew there was no way he could make it. He could feel the weight of the world on his shoulders, the pressure mounting with each passing second. But as much as he wanted to push on, the safety of his daughter came first. That's when he made a decision that would change both their lives forever. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness for more inspiring stories. Jake was a single father. Life had been hard for him and Sophie, ever since his wife passed away unexpectedly in a car accident 3 years ago. He had to take on the world of parenting, work, and everything in between, without any support. Sophie, at only 7 years old, had become the center of his world. Her laughter, her innocent joy, and even her little tantrums gave him a sense of purpose each day. But no matter how hard he tried to balance it all, life never seemed to stop throwing challenges his way. The interview he had been preparing for was his shot. A position at a reputable company, offering a salary that could finally get them out of their cramped apartment and into a better life. He had been dreaming about this moment for months, studying the company's history, rehearsing his responses, and even practicing his handshake in front of the mirror. This was the opportunity he couldn't miss, the chance to finally provide a future for Sophie that was free of the struggles they had faced so far. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Sophie had tripped earlier that morning while they were walking to the bus stop. She'd scraped her knee badly, and Jake had quickly cleaned it up, telling her to walk carefully. But now, as they made their way down the street toward the bus stop, Sophie's limp had gotten worse. She was in pain, and he could see the tears welling up in her eyes. "Dad, my knee hurts. I don't think I can walk anymore," she whimpered. Jake's heart sank. He looked at his watch again. 10:58 a.m. He was already late. The thought of missing his chance at the interview was unbearable. But looking at Sophie's face, he knew what needed to be done. He knelt down, gently lifting her into his arms. "I'm so sorry, sweetie. Let me carry you. We'll get you home, and I'll take care of you," he said, trying to keep his voice steady, though his mind was racing. As he walked back towards their apartment, he could feel his dreams slipping further and further away. He had no idea what he was going to tell the interviewer, no idea how he could explain that he had missed the most important meeting of his life. But all that mattered in that moment was getting Sophie home and making sure she was okay. Suddenly, a car pulled up next to him. A woman's voice called out, "Excuse me, is everything okay?" Jake turned to see a woman in her mid-40s, her face both concerned and curious. She was dressed in a business suit, her hair pulled back in a neat bun. Her car was a sleek black sedan, parked with the door wide open. I'm fine," Jake said, feeling the exhaustion weigh on him. My daughter hurt her knee." "Can I help?" the woman asked, her eyes softening. "You look like you have somewhere to be, and she looks like she needs to get to a doctor." Jake hesitated for a moment. He was a stranger to this woman. And yet, something about her kindness felt genuine. He glanced at Sophie, still nestled in his arms, looking at the woman with wide, curious eyes. "I'm really sorry to ask, but I've missed an interview." "I don't know if I should," Jake began, but the woman interrupted. "It's okay," she said with a warm smile. "I can take you to the hospital. It'll only take a few minutes. You don't need to worry about the interview. What's more important is your daughter." Jake hesitated. His pride and sense of responsibility told him to figure it out on his own, to manage things as he always had. But there was something about the woman's offer that felt like an answer to a prayer. Without another word, he nodded. "Okay, thank you," he said, his voice thick with gratitude. They climbed into the car, and the woman immediately set the car in motion. "I'm Rachel," she introduced herself as they drove. "I work as a consultant. And you are? Jake, he said, still holding Sophie, who was now asleep in his arms. I'm just a dad trying to make things work. Rachel glanced over at him. Well, Jake, it's clear you care a lot for your daughter. That's the kind of thing that really matters in life. Jake gave her a small smile. Sometimes, it doesn't feel like it's enough. Rachel turned to him, her eyes thoughtful. I know it's hard. But you're doing the right thing. I can see it in you. Don't ever doubt that. They reached the hospital, and after Sophie was quickly treated for her scrape, Rachel insisted on waiting with them until everything was taken care of. I know you must be stressed, Jake, she said. But if you ever need help with anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Jake was taken aback by her generosity. He had barely known this woman for an hour, and yet here she was, offering him support without question. It felt almost surreal. A few weeks later, Jake received an unexpected call. It was from Rachel. She explained that she had connections in the very company he had applied to for the job. Jake, Rachel said, I was at your interview that day, and I noticed your dedication. I understand the sacrifice you made for your daughter. I think that kind of commitment is exactly what they need in the role. They want to see you again. Jake's heart leapt. It was a second chance, a lifeline thrown at the last possible moment. I don't know what to say, he stammered. Just say yes, Rachel replied with a smile in her voice. This is your opportunity, Jake. And that was it. Jake had the chance to prove himself again. Thanks to Rachel's kindness, he was not only given the job but also provided with a mentoring relationship that would help him grow in ways he had never imagined. The job changed everything for him. It provided the stability he had longed for, allowing him to move into a better home for Sophie, to send her to a better school, and to finally begin living a life that was free of financial worry. The lessons from that day stuck with him. Sacrifices made for others, even when it seems like the world is against you, will always lead to something greater. Sometimes, when you think you're at your lowest, someone will show you kindness that will change your life forever. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Your support means the world to us. It's easy to get caught up in the pressures of life, to believe that everything is always about what we can achieve for ourselves. But as Jake's story shows, when we make the effort to help others, we often find that the universe responds in ways we never expected. If you've ever been touched by someone's kindness or found yourself in a position to help a stranger, let us know in the comments. Remember to subscribe for more stories that show the power of kindness in our world.